So a big question that so many people have is what to repair when I sell my home. And so Sean McConnell is going to be coming in and talking to us a little bit about that. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm great, Taylor. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Oh, I like the background, man.
I think you'd like the other background better. I was going to turn off my virtual background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if this is a better. Oh, well, you can tell me. Do you agree this is a better background?
Okay, now this is good. This is out the back of what looks like a really private backyard. You got a nice is that, I can't see the edges. Is it a pagoda?
It's a pergola from Costco.
Sweet. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We're talking about downsizers, and there's so many people that are of the age range. Like, really, I think anybody eligible is when their kids are over 25. Like, right in there, that group is when they're looking to downsize, and it often means that those kids were raised in that house. So the first thing when we walk through a property, what we're always trying to draw people's attention to is things that buyers will see that would appear broken. So Sean is an amazing handyman. He's definitely helped me out in the past. We were joking about this a little bit earlier, but I needed your help in the office the one time for a drywall repair. It was amazing and timely because you don't want the damage that you created, because I may or may not have run a skateboard into the wall, to linger. So thanks so much for doing that. And when you're meeting with people, often we have some requests that may not be the same as everyone. Like, I know when we have agents out showing properties, the worst thing is when you're trying to get into the property and the front door sticks. How many doors have you adjusted?
I have adjusted a fair number of doors in my day. I think a lot of people, it's unfortunate that a lot of times people wait until they're selling a property before they start to fix things up, or then they start to notice that there's a problem. It's kind of, I'm not sure exactly what it is. You know, you sit there and go, oh, this is starting to fall off, or that's starting to fall off, and I'll get to it in a little bit. The next thing you know, you've got half the baseboard off in the house, and you start to take it off for some reason, and then it doesn't get back on, and then you lose it, or you put it back in the wrong place, or yeah. And doors out of adjustment. Doors are kind of a funny thing, because typically doors, they at the store, when you buy a door that's pre-hung, it's got screws in it, but they're very short. They're only 3/4 of an inch, because if they were longer, they would be out the side of the jamb and be stabbing people. And I've seen lots of houses that have, doors that are put in, even an outside door is very heavy, and it's got 3/4 inch screws in it, holding that door up. That's a lot of weight for a screw like that.
Over and over again. And if you don't take care of these things, and that's where we really see such a great value in someone who's a handyman, because when you're going to a property, first off, if you don't repair that, you're going to end up with an agent standing out in front of the door, trying to like force the door and do all of our tricks with the keys and get into the door. And meanwhile, the buyers are looking at that saying like, man, I wonder what else they didn't maintain. Right. Like that's their first impression on the way in. And then meanwhile, you've got stuff in the house where it might leak, or, hey, what does this light switch do? It seems to have never worked for us. But can you give us a sense of the other odd jobs that maybe people might not know that you do?
Well, that's a good question. I do a lot of different things. As you know, I've fixed up, you've got an interesting situation in your bathroom where you've got the special kick that comes out and gives the bottom drawers actually a stand, so that your daughters can get up and use the sinks properly. So getting in there, something that's broken like that, and taking care of it is something I do. And the one thing I think that adds value too is when I came in to look, you had one that was broken and one wasn't, but it was pretty evident that the other one was not going to break tomorrow, or maybe would have been good for 3 or 4 months. I could have fixed the one and said, oh, let's wait, he'll call me back and I'll fix the other one then, or you could just repair them all at the same time. So those are
that's
options.
a very specific thing. We've got these vanities in our little girls' room, bathroom, that have pull-out drawers at the bottom that are step stools. And inside there's a mechanism that's designed, but when the wood started to crack, Like there was nothing stopping it. And that's such an odd job that you really just need to have somebody. And, you know, in some people's families, they have that uncle, right? But now maybe that uncle doesn't live nearby anymore and so on. And so you're like a rentable Uncle Sean.
That's
You
right.
can kind of come by and the things that we're talking about, having people come in and repair when they're bringing their house for sale, it's going to be a series of things. Like it'll be that door adjustment, and then also we do see some active leaks now and again, and that's something that we've seen you take care of in the last 6 months. Can you give us a variety of some of the jobs that you've done?
Uh, yeah, some of the crazy. Well, I think one of the craziest jobs I've done in the last 6 months is I went in. Some lady wanted to hire me because they were doing their own bathroom. They're doing their own ensuite, and they were trying to reduce costs, but they didn't weren't comfortable doing the drywall. So they wanted me to just come and only do the areas where the drywall was and leave the rest of it. I came in there, and they had a corner tub originally with a couple, like two windows, and a friend of theirs had helped them do some of the work, and they had basically drywalled over half of the window, and the other half they was going to go behind the shower, and they just put insulation in it, and it was good to go. And I looked at it and said, well, you can't drywall that because the drywall isn't even is going to move, so that's got to be fixed. And then I moved the insulation away, and you could see the window was broken. So I went outside to look, and the window wasn't actually falling out of but the window was cracked, and the guy had put some kind of a plastic film on the window, like a some sort of a film to keep everything together, and you can't see in. But this was what was going to end up in behind a shower panel. It was going to be a permanent panel with glass affixed to it and everything. So I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll give you two separate quotes. I'll quote you to do your drywall. I'm also going to take that window out, and we'll just put siding back on at the top of the house, and we'll fix that all up for you properly and insulate it, and I'll be good. Put the vapor barrier in, and you'll be away to the races. So I did that. As soon as I did that one thing for them, they were like, okay, we want you to finish the rest of the bathroom because my husband doesn't have time to do it.
Yeah,
And
DIY rescue.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's kind of
That's
crazy
awesome.
though.
There's some
But they've
people that
had,
have that situation in their house right now. They're like, man, I would like to list my house, but we didn't get to that last bathroom, or there isn't carpet in this one spot.
Mhm. And sometimes people don't wait. Well, I shouldn't say don't wait. I was in a house last week. Uh, they had hardwood floor put in, and somebody who installed the hardwood floor cut the area around the cold air return a little bit too big, so the vent cover would fall right through. I said, like, well, we can fix that. We'll have to look and see what we can do to fix that. And I said, when did this get done? She's like, and she's in a panic because she needs to be it done like that day because she's got pages coming in the next day. And she goes, 22 years ago, we had the floor put in, but it needs you to get done today so that you can get done. So sometimes that honey-do list gets pretty old and pretty long. So
I get you. I bet you get called into some interesting situations. So if someone were to say, "Man, I'm not sure what my problem is," that's the thing that I really like is that you can stop by and help them diagnose it. And the other thing is that you won't look past those issues. You're saying like, "Hey, I could do what you tell me," but being somebody who understands construction, would you be open to hearing what I see? And then you end
absolutely.
up being able to reveal things like how the broken window would go, because what people may not realize is that a home inspector is going to find those things. And if they've already been finished in that way that doesn't result in somebody having confidence, then it's going to be something that has to be kind of pulled apart and figured out. Because I can tell you this, after hundreds and hundreds of transactions, with the example that you just gave me, that's not a problem for one buyer. That's a problem for all buyers. All buyers are going to have problems if you have condensations in your wall or condensation in your wall due to the fact that it's a broken window, it's going to have air leaks and therefore moisture leaks. So we can see these things going to take place. So I really appreciate you kind of sharing that with me. What would be like a universal message that you would like to give homeowners? So with all the houses that you're in and out of, where do you see the biggest lack of maintenance that you're like, hey, you know what? You guys would have way less problems if you all did.
I think this maybe treating that house a little bit kinder. Sometimes you take some. I fixed a house recently where the child had made a hole in the wall, and the dad got mad and he punched the wall too, and so then they do both had holes. So I fixed it up for him, and it was kind of crazy, but just taking time to, I know it sounds crazy, but there's a thing like spring cleaning, and there's a reason you spring clean. Like there might be, like when you go up on top of your cabinets and you can literally, like, there's a noticeable, uh the grease on the cabinet is so much, or there's so much dirt up there, you can measure it. You can see that it's there's a distance on it or a height of it. It's kind of crazy. So clean up things like that where it would be good. Just generally, like, if you see there's a problem with something, either address it. Like I was at a house today where I done some drywall fixes. I took out a TV niche and put it, just put drywall across it so they could put a TV up on there if they want, or a piece of art. And so they says to me, "Oh, I had my son patch all these walls, but he pulled out some plugs and patched over here. Could you just take a quick peek?" And I looked, and I'll send you a picture after so you can see it. But I swear there's a 1/4 inch thick of mud above where the drywall is. Like, you don't have to have that much. If you're patching a hole, you just cover it over, and then if you have to put another coat, you cover it over, because whatever mud or drywall mud you put up on a wall, if it's too much, it's got to get sanded off. Like, if you got a hole, you got to fix the reason it's a hole. So sometimes the hole might need a repair, might not be able to just be mudded, and that's what the kid thought. Well, it was really bad, so if I put extra mud, it'll make it better. So sometimes you're better off to get somebody in there to have a look at it rather than tackling it yourself. I got another lady who had her house vandalized, and so she decided that she was going to paint on the wall for stress relief. And so she took oil-based paint, black oil-based paint, and started putting musical notes and musical instruments on the wall up the stairs. Then I told her, I said, "That's probably not the greatest idea." And she said, "Yeah, it's probably not. I'll probably get you to fix it." And rather than getting me to fix it, she decided she's going to just like patch over it herself, but accidentally used the wrong product. So now we're in a process of removing all the drywall up the stairwell and putting new drywall in. So if you're not sure what you need to do to fix a problem properly, get somebody in who knows, because it's not necessarily like something like that. It takes more time. It's more costly. So you're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to save a few bucks here." You could easily quadruple the cost of a repair by trying to do it yourself and not doing it the right way.
I think that's a great message. So two things I'm hearing from you is, one, definitely take spring cleaning as a way to examine your property. If there is grease above your cabinets, it could be something that is a fire concern. And also, it allows you to look around your property because you may not notice all the things otherwise. And it could be that there's little brown marks around that plug or some other things that you should notice, because that's your responsibility as a homeowner. And I think that's great advice from somebody who helps so many people that we know. So we really appreciate you coming by, Sean. If you're looking for Sean, you can find him at Out of the Toolbox. And really, you hang out a lot on Facebook. I've seen you do some Facebook Lives. So great social media game. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Taylor.
Have a good night and enjoy your deck.
Thank you. You too. Have a good night too.